China has announced it's setting an economic growth target of 5% this year as the country's annual parliamentary session, the National People's Congress, got underway in Beijing this morning. Beijing has also announced it will increase its defense budget by 7.2% amid rising regional tensions. Now, the move follows Taiwan's decision to boost its own defense spending to face, quote, the escalating threats from adversaries. For more on the situation between China and Taiwan, we're joined now by CBS News foreign correspondent Ramy Inocencio in London once again. Ramy, always great to see you. Help us understand how much concern there is in Taiwan about defense following what we witnessed with President Trump's dust-up with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy.
Errol, yeah, absolutely. And the fear is that a Trump U-turn could happen to Taiwan, opening the possibility for China to take over Taiwan, to invade Taiwan, which Xi Jinping, got to say, has been threatening more and more often in the last few years. Ever since Russia invaded Ukraine, though, Taiwan has backed Ukraine, saying that it morally has to, putting it through that perspective, that it's a defense of democracy around the world. But then Biden was president and policy was aligned. But now we're seeing Trump playing hardball with Ukraine, and Taiwan is watching. I spoke with Richard Xiao. He's executive director of the Global Taiwan Institute, and this is how he put the mood in Taiwan.
I think these events in their totality are deeply unnerving for the people of Taiwan. So this seeming about face from the United States in its position of support for Ukraine, I think raises some doubts among people in Taiwan whether this could potentially happen to them as well in the heat of a battle against China, to have its most important and principal security partner essentially pull the rug from underneath them.
He also told me that Xi Jinping, China's president, might be even more confident as, of course, China also watches what's happening between the United States and Ukraine. But, you know, the U.S. has been Taiwan's biggest backer. Since 1950, the U.S. has sold the island more than $50 billion in weapons. That's been F-16 fighters in the past, but more recently, HIMARS rocket systems. Yes, the same systems that have gone to Ukraine, along with Abrams battle tanks. But one thing that's different from Biden is that Trump, at least for now, has actually gone back to a more traditional policy of what's called strategic ambiguity with Taiwan. And Errol, Biden several times said the U.S. would defend Taiwan if China attacked. That broke with traditional protocol, but Trump so far has not said anything about this.
But I think it's interesting what your expert mentioned is this about face from Washington kind of can be unnerving for the Taiwanese. And we also saw President Trump tell President Zelenskyy that Ukraine doesn't have the cards to demand a security guarantee from Washington against Moscow. Help us understand how Taiwan is similar and different to Ukraine in that sense.
Sure. Actually, different, really. For starters, through the economic lens, Trump, we know, is all about dollars, about making that deal. Taiwan is one of the U.S.'s biggest trading partners dealing with the United States, coming in at number 7 last year. Last year, also, total two-way trade between the two was about $160 billion. But for Ukraine, that was just so small. It was just about $3 billion there. Xiao told me more about the cards that you talk about, that we've all been talking about ever since that blow up on Friday, that Taipei does hold. Here he is again.
Taiwan does have a better hand in terms of what it can offer to the United States in terms of a reciprocal bilateral relationship, a robust economic partnership, a strong security relationship, and certainly a very critically important high-tech industry.
And that industry is semiconductor chips. Remember, just on Monday, also TSMC, which is the world's biggest semiconductor company, agreed to a $100 billion deal with Trump to build 5 facilities in Arizona. I'm likening this a little bit, Errol, to the Ukraine critical minerals deal, but we know that that still is unsigned, still in limbo. Meanwhile, Taiwan and the U.S. have made this deal themselves.
Such important context there, though, Ramy. Really appreciate you joining us with that. Thank you very much.